Miguel de Cervantes Saavedra. His name would be remembered as one of the greatest geniuses of world literature, but this fame and immortality would not be an easy or immediate reward in his lifetime. In the land of his birth, in the Spanish town of Alcalá de Henares, he was expected to lead an ordinary life. Yet fate would transform him from a chained prisoner aboard enemy ships into a writer who delved into the depths of the human soul and illuminated them for centuries to come. Youth and the birth of a warrior. When Miguel was born in 1547, Spain was an empire at the height of its golden age. However, beneath this grandeur, Cervantes' family struggled with economic difficulties. Young Miguel discovered his passion for literature at an early age, but life forced him to prove himself not with words, but with the sword. By 1571, one of the bloodiest naval battles in history, the Battle of Lepanto, took place between the Ottoman Empire and the Holy League. Young Cervantes was a Spanish soldier in this war. Amid the clash of spears and swords, Miguel's bravery caught the attention of his commanders. However, this battle came at a great cost. He was severely wounded in his left hand and would never fully use it again. Yet by a twist of fate, his right hand would be enough for the words he was destined to write. Years of captivity, 5 years in chains. Throughout war, Cervantes and his brother Rodrigo were captured by Mediterranean pirates while returning to Spain. Under the command of Arnaut Mami, a descendant of Barbarossa's legacy, Ottoman corsairs took them to Algiers. Miguel was no longer a free man, but a prisoner. Yet his spirit would never be confined. The years of captivity in Algiers became one of the greatest trials that shaped Cervantes' character. Slave traders who wanted to sell him believed he came from a noble family and thus demanded a high ransom. However, his family could not afford such an amount. Throughout those 5 years, Miguel attempted to escape 4 times. Each attempt ended in failure, but he never lost hope. What kept him from sinking into the darkness of captivity was his imagination. There, in the streets of Algiers, in the shadow of his chains, a writer was being born. Amid the suffering of imprisonment, he knew that one day his words would rule the world. Finally, in 1580, the Trinitarian monks paid his ransom, and Cervantes returned to Spain after 5 years, but as a completely changed man. The birth of Don Quixote and immortality. When Cervantes returned to Spain, he was not welcomed as a hero. He had neither wealth nor glory. He worked in government service, became a tax collector, fell into debt, and even spent a short time in prison. But the words that had accumulated inside him were ready to be unleashed upon the world. At last, in 1605, the first volume of Don Quixote was published, a work that would change literary history forever. It appeared to be a chivalric novel, yet within its pages lay traces of Cervantes' entire life. It was a novel of captivity, disappointments, despair, and dreams that never died. Don Quixote was a man trapped between the reality of life and his fantasies, just like Cervantes himself. The novel quickly gained immense popularity. However, Cervantes did not live long enough to fully enjoy the fruits of this success. In 1615, the second volume of Don Quixote was published, and in 1616, Cervantes passed away in Madrid. Yet even after his death, his words continued to live on. And perhaps his greatest achievement was this: the pen of a man who was once in chains set all of humanity free. The eternal spirit of literature, Cervantes' life is not just the story of a writer, but the story of the resilience of the human spirit. He was a man who, even when taken captive, never surrendered, who, even in poverty, never stopped dreaming. And most importantly, the words that flowed from his pen, like the day he gained his freedom, remained forever unchained. Today, his works are still read, discussed, and admired. Because Cervantes was not just a writer, he was a hero who broke chains with his words.